in as well. Jacques, we haven't spoken in previous episodes about your time in WCW. Now, I've had some questions from people, ask Jacques about his time in WCW. You're so well known for your time in WWE. How did it come about signing the deal with WCW at the time? And your experience there and how it differed to WWE?
Stewie, it was the only good thing that came out of that. The only good thing is that I beat Hulk Hogan in Montreal. My victory over that. Because apart from that, I got to tell you, there was a little bit of what's going on now, I think, in AEW, where they're trying to buy everybody, sign everybody up, and they sign too many people, and there's not so many people are signed and they're not working. And WCW was the same way at the time. They were having so much wrestlers, they just wanted to tie them down, and they wanted to own them, but they didn't have any spot for them. And if they have a spot for you, it wasn't a spot that you liked. And anyway, long story short is I signed for a whole year with them, and my first year, my only year, and that was enough because I think I must have wrestled maybe 8 times in a year. But I think they signed us up for different reasons. They wanted to own us, but they also wanted to have an entry to Montreal because they knew I knew all the lawyers, the venues, and I knew I would fight for them to get them. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got them into the Molson Center. They WWE had an exclusivity at the time, mm-hmm. and but the thing is I became a promoter, and by being a promoter and by promoting that show, it was my show. It wasn't the WCW show. It was my show, the Hogan show, and so that gave me the rights to fight in court against the charts of the rights of the liberty of the Quebecers. So you can't have an American company come into Quebec and prohibit a Quebecer to have an event in his own country. Mm-hmm. So that's where I think WCW really fell in love with me when they found out the loophole and that my lawyer was going to get them in the exclusivity. Break the exclusivity of the WWE. I think that was the biggest reasons. And when I agreed to do that show, my only agreement was I want to wrestle Hulk. The only thing I wanted to do was wrestle Hulk. He was such an icon. He was such a hero for me. It was a dream for any wrestler to wrestle Hulk, and Hulk agreed. And so then on, so many good things happened from then. It's amazing in my career, but yeah, so that's the only really good thing that happened with WCW. Eric Bischoff had no plans for us at all. He just, sometimes you meet people in the business and you like them, and sometimes you meet them and just you don't like them, and then you don't have to have a reason. There's good chemistry sometimes between people and bad chemistry, and sometimes it only takes you never have a second chance to make a first impression. And maybe my first impression to Eric Bischoff wasn't good, so from that day on, I know his wasn't good to me. So the chemistry wasn't too strong between us. But sometimes it's funny. I meet him now in the Comic Cons and stuff like that, and I say hello to him. We say hello, and so it's okay. Bygones be bygones, and I wasn't something you needed. I wasn't a tool that you needed at the time. I respect that. You were the boss and that. But you got to respect the fact that I'm not a guy that you could just put on a shelf and leave there. I had too much to offer to the business.
Absolutely.